Okay, so let's talk about bots. We interact with them pretty much every day, right? Some are amazing, super helpful, and others, well, not so much. So what's the secret sauce? What makes a chatbot conversation feel good and actually work? We're going to dive into the art and the science behind it all.
Ugh, this phrase. We've all been there. You're just trying to get a simple answer and bam, you hit this digital brick wall. It is so frustrating, and it really makes you wonder if these bots were even designed to help in the first place.
So what is going on here? Is the technology just not there yet? Well, not really. The secret to a fantastic chatbot isn't just about having more powerful AI. It's about having more thoughtful, human-centered design.
And that leads us straight to the solution, this really cool field called conversation design. This is the moment we stop thinking like programmers and, start thinking like actual people.
You know, as the expert Kathy Pearl says, the whole point is to teach computers our language, not force us to learn theirs. It's an approach that's all about making our chats with technology feel way more intuitive, genuinely helpful, and maybe even a little human.
So how do we actually pull that off? Well, it really boils down to 5 key golden rules. If you can get these right, you can turn a clunky, annoying bot into a seriously useful assistant. Let's break them down one by one.
First up, and honestly the most important, clarity. This is the bedrock for everything else. Because think about it. If you're confused about what the bot can even do or what it's trying to say, the conversation is dead on arrival.
Being clear is all about guiding the user, not confusing them. So a bad bot just throws out a vague, "How can I help?" But a great bot, it immediately sets expectations, giving you specific options. It uses plain English, not technical jargon, so there is zero room for misunderstanding.
All right, rule number 2 is all about brevity. I mean, when you're trying to solve a problem, the last thing you want is to read a novel, right? The best bots totally respect our time by keeping every single message short and right to the point.
But here's the thing. Brevity isn't just about using fewer words. It's about designing a faster, more effortless experience. You'll notice good bots break down a big task into tiny, simple questions, where they use buttons for quick replies. It makes the whole thing feel like a fast chat, not like you're filling out some long, boring form.
Okay, rule number 3 might sound a bit weird when we're talking about a machine, but it's empathy. Look, we all know things are going to go wrong sometimes. A great bot is actually designed for those moments, so it can handle errors and your frustration gracefully.
So what empathy in design really means is planning for failure. That cold, invalid entry message, it's a dead end. But an empathetic bot says something like, "Oops," and then gently shows you how to fix it, all without making you feel like you did something wrong.
And that leads us perfectly into our 4th rule, context. A good conversation relies on memory. When a bot immediately forgets what you just told it 2 seconds ago, it's not just unhelpful, it feels kind of disrespectful of your time.
This is what makes a bot feel truly smart. When it remembers key details like your account number or something you said earlier, the whole conversation just flows. It feels smooth and continuous, not like you're stuck in a loop asking the same questions over and over. And finally, our 5th rule is all about tone of voice. A bot really needs a consistent personality. Is it supposed to be friendly and fun, or more professional and formal? It can't just be random. See, a consistent tone helps build trust and makes the bot feel like it's actually part of the brand. But, and this is key, it also has to be adaptable. Being super cheerful and bubbly when a user is frustrated and angry, that's just jarring. The tone has to match the situation. Okay, theory is great, but let's see how these rules actually work in the real world. These side-by-side examples are going to make the difference between good and bad design totally obvious.
So on the left, you've got that classic, unhelpful error that just makes you want to scream. But on the right, that's empathy and clarity working together. It says, "Oops," acknowledges the mistake, and tells you exactly how to fix it. No more guesswork. And here we see the awesome power of clarity. The bad example is so vague it puts all the work on you. The good one? It immediately tells you what it can do and gives you clear, simple choices. It gets you where you need to go, way faster. This is just a perfect example of brevity. That wall of text on the left is totally overwhelming, but on the right, that same exact task is broken down into 2 simple, easy steps. It turns a chore into a quick, natural chat. It just feels easier.
So why do we need to care so much about getting this stuff right? Well, because this technology isn't just some gimmick anymore. It is quickly becoming a really fundamental part of how we live our lives. Just look at this number. A recent survey found that 2/3 of us, 67%, have used a chatbot for customer support just in the last year. These conversations are literally shaping how we feel about companies, and a bad one can do some serious damage.
I love this quote from author Erica Hall. A pretty app might catch your eye, sure, but it's the quality of the interaction, the conversation itself, that actually builds a real connection and makes you want to come back.
And that, right there, is the biggest takeaway. The whole point of good conversation design isn't to trick people. It's not about passing some "is it a human" test. It's simply about being efficient, being clear, and respecting the user's time and intelligence.
And all this leads us to one final, really interesting question to think about. As these AI systems get better and better at talking with us, how are we going to change the way we talk back to them? What new habits are we going to form? It's a pretty fascinating thing to consider. And that wraps things up for us today.